This sort of thing. I'm right there with you, he said. He was smiling as he spoke, and the expression on his face made her heart skip a beat. I used to live for this stuff.
Me?
Me too, in the simpler times when extraordinary rendition videos of the consequences, I said. It's not that bad. Just think of it as if we were going away on vacation together. That's what I always tell myself. That's what I like about you, John. She laughed, then forced herself to focus again. And that is what I've always appreciated about you, Marcia. You don't let anyone or anything get in the way of your goals. That's why you are such an inspiration to me. Thank you, John, she said. It means a lot to know that someone sees something special in me. And all Heidi Ho can see is a very beautiful woman who makes him feel alive again. He looked at her with pride before changing the subject. So, did you know that I once had an offer from NASA? To do what I said. To do your job. He smiled. No, no, not that. What I mean is that they offered me a spot on one of their space shuttle missions. But I turned them down because I wanted to be an astronaut first and foremost. Wait, so how is not paying for that special admission part of the pathway to be an astronaut? Isn't that, are they hand in the hand? He said. Don't worry about it, she said. I'm just glad that we're finally talking again. Yeah, me too, he responded. But not to talk about me. Talk about the mission, she said. Of course. Sure, the mission. She was still trying to figure out what that meant. Marcia, you'll need to use some of your own resources for this. I mean, you can't rely on us to provide everything. Over the past few months, I can send you pulled me out of retirement. The first Piedmont flight I heard from a retired CIA agent named Bill Phillips. He claims that he has been working on a top secret project over the last 5 years, and that he believes that it will ultimately lead to the discovery of extraterrestrial life. Which to these humans is like trying to scan the skies for the wonderful Italian restaurant. Okay, she said. Well, I want you to meet him and then try to find out if his story is real. If it is, then you may be able to help him make his case to the rest of the agency. You gotta give me the winning where's the money line here. I'd love to, but how am I supposed to get in touch with him? He didn't leave a phone number or an email address. I know. And if he had done either of those things, we might never have gotten back in contact. The best value in Skyrim, you probably have it on your phone. Love that any phone records that you have of the direct contact. Give me those records and I'll analyze, and I will scour the surveillance. Your similar sounds are there in the city and I will find him. Thanks, Marcia. You're the best. There is nothing like a good night's sleep. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Where are you going? Heidi asked the next morning. I rolled over in Crystal here and said I got to go to work. I got to go to the surveillance here and listen to all this people talking about their lives. Really? You're not going to stay home and relax? Why would I do that? Relaxing is boring. Besides, I'm excited to meet my new team members. I mean, I'm in the back. Will you ask me these things? 'Cause I eat this as a work day. You know it's his work day. Oh, okay. I guess I understand. You know I'd love to come with you, but I have a lot of work to catch up on today. I already told you you need to relax more. Yes, I do, but this is a special day. Wish I could tell you about it, but how people have to tell you about it in time. Okay, I'll see you later, she said. Bye bye, Heidi. I'll see you tonight. Her mood was ruined for the rest of the day. Like a rude, a mood gets ruined based on clear information that I relate to her. That's her fault. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. John had been watching the surveillance footage from across town. All the while, he was listening to the conversations happening between the pedestrians. They were mostly discussing their jobs, their children, and the weather. And the jobs. Did children have seen clouds and creating artificial weather as a means of fighting climate change, which is a thing that exists now? He knew that the conversation would be difficult to decipher, but he was confident that he could identify the voices of the important players. and switch to Ian Smith's stool in the middle of the street and place the audio recorder into the ground. Then he sat back and waited for the recordings to begin. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. You know what I really miss about the old days? Ian Smith asked his wife. What's that? Dressing up and pretending that I wasn't a spy. That's what I always liked about you. I can't wait until we get to our new location and start doing the same thing. You know what I miss about the old days, the likes of the offense we have to persuade more fishing stuff in the earlier times. But I don't think they are going to allow that anymore. Why not? Because I feel like that's against the law. I bet you're right. Hidden, their fishing laws aren't really enforced. But what if they are? Maybe I'll just pretend that I'm someone else. Like who? Like maybe the president. That's crazy. This begins an episode of Law and Order Special Fish Crimes Unit. It's really important that we do this. Even though it feels strange. It's the only way that we're going to get close enough to hear what's being said. And what if they notice us? We'll have to be really careful. She reached out to hold his hand. But it's worth it, isn't it? Yes, I suppose it is. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Hey, John, he said. You better come into this warehouse. You're not going to like it. Put on your Desaline news clamps or something. Yeah, I heard that the place was really dusty and dirty. Are you sure this is the place? It is. Good. Let's get this over with. So, you know that the CIA is interested in this project of yours. The CIA has always been interested in all things fish. I'm sorry, but I've never heard of you. My name is Bill Phillips. Bill Phillips. Yes, Bill Phillips. Okay. So what exactly did the CIA want to know about your project? How long it would take to build the device? You mean how long it would take to build the prototype? Yes. How long it would take to construct the first production run? I think I should perhaps put on my expedition cap and tell you what they mean by that. What day it is. When do you think it would be completed? In the next 2 years or so. So you're saying that it's almost ready? Almost. So you expect that you're going to have a testable prototype within the next couple of months? Maybe, and who was overseeing this project. Oh, you're about to meet him right now. Let's open this door. And let's see what's in that room. Oh my God, she gasped. What is it? It's something big. Let's go check it out. Insert description of Law and Order. Find the corpse crime scene seen here. Whoa. What is that? It's a dead body. How are you guys doing? Heidi asked as she walked into the room. Great. We've got this whole thing figured out, right? I don't know, we have gases, maybe like 5, maybe 1 or 2 clues now would be fine, with 2 clues and maybe 20 minutes, and maybe have it wrapped up by the end of the hour. You know what I think? I think it's time for us to make a plan. What kind of plan? A plan to stop the construction of the device. Heidi goes, you'll have to tell me exactly what this device is in order for me to find it, or if I get there, prevent its construction, cause I've got nothing here right now. It's going to take a lot of research, and we have to do it fast. How do you think we're going to find all of this out? He pulls out 2 innovative device dice and says, hey, let's do this and then get this over with. Okay, I'm going to roll for devices and you gotta do the same. Oh, yeah, okay. Roll the dice. I got this one. Bingo. Wow, there are a lot of them. There are a lot of them. Now, I'm going to look at each one of these devices and try to figure out what they do. Okay, you can do that. I want you to sit back and relax while I'm doing all that work. That won't be a problem. Okay, good, then I guess we're finished for today. I'm going home to sleep. Okay, insert description of Law and Order, the criminal case here. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 2 men were sitting next to each other at the bar when one looked over at the other. Insert description of book that Richard Belzer is reading on conspiracy theories here. You know what? You really scare me sometimes. What? The man replied. The fact that you're not afraid of me, she went on. What makes you think that I'm not scared? I can tell because you don't have the little twitch thingy in your eyes and your cheeks don't turn all weird when you're surprised. Okay, so why are you telling me this? I'm taking a class on micro expressions and I am trying to exercise it whenever I can. Are you really? Yes. Yes, I am. It's actually really hard. Sometimes I have trouble remembering if I did or not. I'm trying to train myself. Yeah, I think I see where you're coming from. It must be kind of tough to control it. I'm getting better. Really? Yes. That's so cool, she said as she took another sip of her drink. There's another side to that ability though, he said. Oh, she said, whatever, what he said. If I don't turn it off, I'll be able to read every one of the time. That's what I was told, and I don't mind that part. That part doesn't bother me so much, but what I found is that I can also detect micro expressions of everyone around me. If I pay attention, I can actually tell which of the other person I'm talking to is lying to me. I'm not always good at it, but I have gotten pretty close. If I pay attention to that part, the micro expression on her face, the one that just a few seconds ago said she's happy with what I'm telling her, that was. The key to that is, she said, combining your visual cues with your audio cues, and then discrepancy between each will tell you a lot about your conversation partners. You can really tell if I was to look at your face right now, for example. I could tell if you are hiding something, and that would help me find you. I'll find out where you are, but most importantly, the way I can tell about you is whether your story checks out. You'll say I did it and it'll be the truth. So if someone wants to get rid of me, or if they're in hiding or they're involved in something and you're helping them to escape, that person I'll probably find. I can do this by looking into your eye. The whites of the eye are called the zygomatic arch. So if I'm looking at the left side of your lower eyelid where your eye meets that area, I can see a small muscle in there. It'll contract when you lie, and it'll show up on the face when you're not telling the truth. That muscle tells me when you are saying something that's false. Interesting. This is fascinating. It is, really is. There's a lot of science behind this kind of stuff. If we keep this up, maybe we can figure out if anything is going on. Yeah, that would be great, she went on. Let me go talk to someone real quick before you start. And we're still not going to talk about that, okay? He nods. That's why I want to talk to you first, so we don't say anything weird while he... Well, he's gone, he called. calls his optometrist and arranges for an appointment. He requests if it is possible to get an injection like Novocaine or something that will enable him to paralyze his credit cards. That's because it's a very particular request. I'll look into it and find out how much that will cost me. Thank you. I am going to call the bank. If you can please make that happen as soon as possible, because I need to give some money to an associate of mine. He's going to buy some stuff from me and we're going to make a deal where I'll give him my car. It's a silver Acura MDX and you'll bring it to his house and I'll meet him there tomorrow morning at 10 to 11 a.m. That means no time for the operation, so he goes to the nearest 7-Eleven and gets some of those Ambisol containers with the droplets numbing potion to take that I was already in an Intex bed into the part that contains the sigmatic arch in time for the operation in the morning. He goes back to the table and orders his meal and she says, I know this sounds crazy, but I think he wants me to tell him where you are. If this is true, why didn't he find me himself? She turns to him and says this is not just because she's interested in science and research or even that she finds her own situation interesting, but it is also because she is in love with him. This is one of the reasons she is doing this for him. He needs to be with her. If commercial break. He's lying. She has learned a lot by practicing all this research, but still there are some things that she has trouble with. This is one of them. He knows how to tell she's not telling him the truth and she doesn't know how to lie to him to make herself less credible or less likely to become suspicious. If he looks at her and sees a facial micro-expression that shows her telling the truth, she doesn't know how to fake that. He knows when she's lying, so then how he does that? Well, finish this scenario up like you would an essay question in your micro-expressions vinyl bag, for example. Insert description of Law and Order, the criminal case here, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. This is the second season finale, and if we had more time we probably wouldn't put it before the first, but here's the thing, it's important because you'll see that the FBI agents have finally figured out everything. They've been searching the entire time looking for evidence, and they have found something, and it's the answer to the case, but it's also dangerous because it's very explosive. So most of the rest of the season is found looking for the material that's going to neutralize the explosive nature of the thing, and then the thing is going to blow up at the end. What do you want to tell us about the explosive matter? Well, what do you think you know about it so far? Well, there's a substance in the device and that's what the bomb is going to use, and it's called nitrate. What is that? You don't know. No one seems to know what that is. It's something that no one has ever heard of, but it can kill tens of thousands of people. How fast will this thing go off? How many seconds? It's gonna be very slow. It's probably going to go off over a course of several seconds. I mean, we have to figure that out, but I'd say probably a few minutes before anyone gets killed. That's probably good then if there's nobody in the immediate vicinity when it goes off and we find these people, we should be able to catch them. Let's run this car off into the ocean and jump off right before it goes off the cliff. Maybe that'll help, or we can set the car on fire, or we can take the car into a body of water and then get in the car ourselves and then drive underwater until the car stops. Those might work, I don't know, they're good ideas, but we don't think anybody is going to be thinking like that. We're definitely going to need a plan to find them in order to destroy the device, and we might as well use the time we have left, so let's make a timeline of everything that happens from the moment. Good idea, with action items on how to proceed for each step. I don't know about all this though, there's just so much we can accomplish in a few days. I don't know if we're really making progress. We should probably go with plan A because all the plans seem kind of crazy and I don't know if the bombs will explode. That's not what people who made these plans think. I thought about that the first couple of weeks. I thought about all the bad stuff that's gonna happen, and I tried to do the math to see if boom. Okay, here we go. Action item number 1. Figure out where the bomb is in New York City. So what's the procedure to do that? Well, there are lots of things that could be doing this. One guy has been saying he wants a lot of money to tell us and he doesn't want any of the publicity, so we have to think about what we would do if we were him. I know how I would go about it. The first place I'd start would be to look at the map. BOOOOOOOO. Action item number 2. Talk to the bank to see if they have the same kind of bomb or something similar. What's the name of the bank where the explosives come from and where you're going to go today? The American International Bank and Savings Association, I guess. That's right. Where's this bank located? In New York. In Queens. The address is 100,002. Kaboom. We're gonna lose that plane. We're gonna die. Why didn't they tell me we're flying in a private jet? They said it wasn't safe to fly commercial. We should have flown commercial. Why didn't they tell me we're gonna die? It's a 747 jet. What do you think are those made of? You can survive anything. It's not like a normal plane. I don't know what we're going to do if we don't make it. I'm sorry. Moral of the story: don't mess with the government. He takes her home and says I'm not really sure how much I accomplished last night or what I'm planning to do now, but at least now I feel like we're on the right track so we can start doing things that will help me get back to my life. And she says, let's go for a walk. It's nice outside and it would be good if there were some fresh air. So they leave the bar and go for a walk down an empty street where you can see the mass of people choking on very not pressure, very not fresh air. They walk along the street looking out as far as they can into the horizon and the sun glistening from the city, and the sky is bright enough to show the blue of the sky through the pollution, so the view is kind of nice. She says, there's one more thing we have to do before you go to your friend's house this morning, and you have to tell me something. You can start by telling me about this bomb in your pocket. What the hell is in there?
Está bien.
It is me very happy to see you and leaving my life, he said. Está bien, why gracias. Now let me tell you what happened yesterday and we will find the bomb. They get up at 8, he says, to wake up. So what are you doing this morning? She says, I'm going to go check out the place where I saw you before. I know if the thing in the bomb works, we can figure out where he is. With this information, we could stop these people before they do something terrible.
Chain plug. Oh, okay, so this is. Okay, this is retyping. Okay, following changes. Okay. Edit the. Open scroll at the bottom. Increase minimum and maximum rows. Certain external sites. Okay. Let me just. I'm going to log off and log back on.